everybody. Welcome to another edition of The Outpost. Hey, we did that in like stereo.
Outpost.
Yes, we did, of course. My name is Mike Hurt, along with
Adam Alexander.
And we have a very special guest. But first one, the goal of The Outpost, I forgot. We are with DAV Chapter 17, Ray H. Fuller, Winnebago County. We meet the fourth Tuesday of the month, 6:30 at the Marine Corps League building. What this show is about is every veteran has a story. Every veteran has served this nation and brings a little piece of history into this show. And then the other thing that we like to talk about and really try to focus on either that kind of local level and beyond, but the Disabled American Veterans, DAV, and its impact in the veterans community. And with us today, we have a very special guest.
Yes. Our current state adjutant and immediate past state commander, Matt Kempainen, is here with us.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us,
Thank you
Matt.
for having me.
Yeah, so, but first off, I have to tell you, everybody, we are with the 2022 Disabled American Veteran of the Year nationally, Adam Alexander here. And you just came off the national convention, which was huge.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, I got to tell you what, folks. I mean, at the convention, it was like being with Elvis, you know? I mean, it was unbelievable. And even today, there was an article out on Facebook produced by our national organization. So, and we are blessed to have them. But with the intent of our show, we have the illustrious Matt Kempainen with us.
Yes.
And he has a plethora of experience. And if you could kind of maybe get us kicked off a little bit, Adam.
Well, first of all, tell us about your family's history in the military and how you got into the military, I guess.
So my grandpa was Vietnam era, never deployed, but during the time frame. One of my uncles was a Marine Corps, Desert Storm, Desert Shield, and I have two uncles that were retired out of the Air Force. Unofficially, my biological father was, I say unofficially, biological. He was in the Army. He was actually stationed in Germany, but it was actually one year where my mom and my grandpa were getting in an argument, and they said that I needed discipline and that I should join the military. And I always wanted to make him happy. I don't know why, young grandpa. Mm-hmm. But the other thing is I always wanted to join the military since I was about 6 years old. I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Did you say, I think we conversed once, did you say you wanted to join the Marine Corps initially?
So my uncle, yes, my uncle was a Marine in Desert Storm as an infantryman, and I went to the Marine Corps recruiters, and they told me that I could pick infantry as one of my 3 slots, but it was not guaranteed. And my uncle at the time told me if you weren't infantry.
What?
So I walked over the Army recruiter, and I actually was in the reserve. I joined the reserves when I was 17, and they put me as a combat medic. 9/11 happened. Yeah, so 9/11 happened, and I wanted to go in, and they wouldn't let me out. So I actually re-enlisted on September 11th, 2002, and I had my MOS changed in code active duty to infantry. I got duty station of choice, and I knew that the 101st already deployed to Afghanistan. They spearheaded Afghanistan, especially the 187 Roxxons. So I chose the 101st as my duty station. I went to Fort Benning, Georgia for my basic training.
And I think do we have some of those pictures, Scott? Oh, there we go.
So this is my second tour in Iraq. I actually helped with part of the reinstatement of the 2nd of the 506th.
Where are you in here?
I am actually the one on the bottom right with sunglasses and the suppressor on my M4.
Oh. Okay.
Yep. So that's my second tour. When I got back from my first one, they gave me a voluntold option that I'm either going to help restart a unit, and we actually didn't know which unit was going to be. It was either going to be the triple nickel smoke jumpers or the 506, and it happened to be the 506, which is now and I was put in the second company, 2nd Battalion 506. So I am a modern day band of brother. I actually met retired Colonel Shames before he passed out over at EAA. So yeah, that's one of our things. We were just posing real quick as a break as we had time in the front of the battalion talk. That one's actually, we're out in a blown out building looking for mortars, and I was up being the lookout for at the time, and one of my soldiers literally took a picture of me because I wasn't wearing my K-pot. And that's a big no-no.
You didn't do that. Adam Alexander when you were out in Chimkana?
Never. I was always in a proper uniform.
Okay.
Let the record reflect.
You were a good soldier. I was never in proper uniform. So that's where we were sitting out in a blown out building. Actually, that's out on Route Red Wings. So it's like the most right outside of Baghdad, the green zone.
Yeah.
They had
that? Did they call it Route Irish or
no? So Route Red Wings is a road that supposedly before Saddam's army and everything, they buried over 500 IEDs in it with wires, and then they paved over it, and then they just left it. So we actually shut the road down, and even though we shut the road down, we would patrol it, and we would still get hit by it. That's actually on the one reason we're watching it, because on the other thing is Route Red Wings led to OP Red, and OP Red was the guard because they would use that area to mortar and rocket the green zone. So we were always out there looking for the mortars and the rocket teams, and that's where actually on Route Red Wings they blew the top of a Abrams tank right up, a 500-pound bomb with 500-pound of HME. It blew a crater 20 feet wide by 10 feet deep and blew the top of an Abrams right off that. So that was a really dangerous road. So.
Only that cool guy with the suppressor.
Yeah. So that's actually, we were being mortared, and I was, once again, not wearing my proper uniform. I was actually on the roof talking to one of my squad mates, and we started getting mortared, and and we have a thing that we always take pictures when we get fired at, just, so I remember, so that was actually at OP Red. We called it the doghouse because Delta.
Now, where was that located near? Was that near Baghdad? Or
yeah, that was actually right outside the green zone.
Okay.
It's in Baghdad. It's right outside the green zone. So the whole area as you can see where I'm looking to the left, but the whole area to the right and to the left were areas where, the area to the left where I'm aiming, where we would get mortared from, and the area way over to the right, they would use to mortar the green zone.
Okay.
So that's why we were put out there, and we would do stints probably anywhere from a week to 2 weeks out there, and then we'd come back to the FOB Falcon. Funny enough, I was actually on FOB Falcon when the AHA got hit and it blew up. We were watching. It's funny. We were downstairs watching Fox News from the green zone. They were watching it blow up, so we would feel the concussion and then we would see it on the TV. Wow. Yeah, it was pretty funny. So yeah. We were about to go out on patrol, and one of my soldiers just took a picture of me. Just said, "Hey, look at me real quick." And so I looked up and. Just a quick pose.
Just having the time of your life there, you can tell.
I am actually. People keep asking me why my pointer fingers are the fingers are cut off on my gloves, because once again that's out of regulation. Because if you ever got caught in a fire, the gloves would save your hands. And I'm like, I think I'm okay losing one finger, but
just like the iPro saves your video.
It does, right? Just like the iPro. So literally, we were going out somewhere, and once again, I do not have my cape on. I always thought we were taught in basic that they don't stop bullets; they only stop shrapnel. Well, by that time, they already invented the EFP.
Oh, yeah, those were. Well, what were the EFPs?
It's electronic funnel projectile, I believe it's called. Or explosive funnel projectile.
Because I think that was the ones that the Iranians.
Yep, the Iranians helped them. Actually, my friend Buckley, he was in 2nd Platoon. He was killed by it on June 23rd that year. He was one of the first casualties of the EFP. Yeah. So yeah, it was. Besides that, I mean, I always loved the military. I loved what I did in the military. If it weren't for my children, I'd still be in. I promised my mom when I was 16 years old. I grew up without a dad, but I promised my mom when I was like 16 that my kids, if I ever had any, would not grow up without me. After my 3rd deployment, 2 first in Iraq, 1 in Afghanistan, we were on the border at FOB Organy near Pakistan, and we were always getting rocket and mortar from Pakistan. We could never fire back because they're from Pakistan. Yeah. I was kind of done with it. I was kind of done with the politics. I was kind of done with some of the upper echelon stuff, and I had 2 young kids.
Yeah. How many years did you wind up doing?
I did 7 active, and then a total of 11.5 if you include reserve time. So yeah. Okay. I joined when I was 17, got out right before I turned, or right after I turned, right as I turned 28.
Okay.
So.
Well, how did you get involved with DAV? What about it? And the Disabled American Veterans, has been around over 100 years. Now, we're Chapter 17 here in Winnebago County. Matt is with Chapter 3, which is I'll be upfront, it's one of the elite chapters here in the state of Wisconsin, out of the Green Bay area. How did you get involved with DAV?
Well, it's a funny story. So I was sitting at school one day waiting to pick up my kids from school, and another veteran came up and said, "Hey, the DAV over at this meeting place, they're getting some things, and if you're in the DAV, you kind of get these perks." And at the time, I'm like, all right, I could use some help right now, single parent, 2 kids, So I signed up online to the DAV, and I picked Green Bay Chapter 3, Russell Light number 3. And about a month later, I get a phone call from one of my chapter members, a past department commander, a really good friend of mine, Casey Johnson. And he's like, "Hey, why don't you come to a meeting?" And I was like, a few unsolicited words that I probably should not have said. I'm a single dad. Please leave me alone. And I hung up. He calls me next month. "Hey, why don't you come to a meeting?" It's like, "No." Once again, "Look, I told you, leave me alone." Da, da. And I wasn't in the best place. I got out in 2009, had some friends commit suicide, wasn't in a great place myself. So on a third time, Casey calls me. He's like, "Look, bring your kids." I was like, "No, I'll get a sitter because I don't know what this place is like." I go. So I show up, and within my first meeting, I was put on 2 committees, which is a finance committee, and I think I got voted in something else. I can't remember at this moment. And then they asked me if I would like to start a scholarship committee because we have a lot of requests for veterans' kids and stuff like that to go to school. And I said, sure. So within the next year, I was running for JA for the department level due to the fact that
Okay, what's a JA?
I apologize, Judge Advocate.
We're terrible with our acronyms.
Yeah. So I was running for the department Judge Advocate. I started the Chapter 3 scholarship committee, and then I was put on the fundraising stuff. So I do fundraising at the Bart Star Plaza tailgate party for the Packer games. I got put on our Forget Me Not stuff, which is our little blue flowers that we do. And then I got put on the Green Bay Gamblers Military Appreciation Night. And just because of my energy, I got a lot of, hey, we need somebody to do this. Wait, Matt's got energy. Let him do it. So, and oops, I just bumped your table.
That's okay.
So
this is a high, better than destroying the award.
So within a little bit of time, I mean, I have a past National Commander, Dick Marbs, I believe, who was on your show.
Right.
And he's our chapter treasurer, our department treasurer, the president of the Charitable Trust Foundation. I had him as a mentor moving me up and doing the things I was doing. So, and then as I was JA, I believe there was a certain junior vice commander who walked up to me at fall conference and said, "Hey, I want you to follow me up the line." No mention of the name, Mike Hurt. Yeah. So I followed you up the line, had great teachings by you, great mentorship by you, and it taught me a lot, taught me how to look at different things. So, and then from there, got put on a national interim committee of membership, which was pretty awesome. And just doing what the DAV does makes me happy. It makes me proud. It gives me a purpose again. Because I lost that when I... Go ahead.
Yeah, that's one, because I know Adam pretty well and you as well, but that was one thing I remember, I've had separate conversations with the both of you, is that your military careers kind of ended a little quicker than you thought, but it was then getting involved with the DAV that kind of gave that purpose and some of the mission back.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so one of the big things that I did, I was dealing with is the suicide stuff, but that because my friends, I had 5 friends that have committed suicide since I got out. But then, as you can see, I have testified on the reimbursement bill or tax. They call it tax credit, but it's actually a reimbursement. And in Madison, and
that's where I want to keep the picture up here real quick, but. This is, I think, very important for the viewing audience, and I think it's important for our fellow veterans. And this is one of the things I like with the Disabled American Veterans, is that's a picture of you testifying in Madison on a bill for veterans.
Yes.
And we really do rubber meets the road stuff. Adam has testified in Madison. I've been down there as well. And, you know, people kind of have, I always think of the movie Gran Torino, where people have this image of veterans going down to a bar and drinking and telling war stories.
We do plenty of that, too.
Yeah. But this is what we do.
Yeah.
We're literally out there. And I think it's important to share.
It's very important because people, when we say we testify on veterans' rights, they don't understand that every veteran before us is the reason why we have the benefits we have today. And it's our job to make sure the veterans of the future's benefits are better than ours today. And if we do not continue to do that for the veterans of the future, the benefits might be taken away. I mean, look at the POW MIA bill, the funding that was done. That has not been paid for in 2 years. And that POW MIA bill goes to, yes, it goes to UW-Madison MIA project, which they don't get no money from Madison, but they go and find the World War II vets that crashed and bring them home.
We'll just deviate a little bit, but you just came back from a POW MIA mission, and this is what's kind of neat to share with our viewers. You know, all of us talk about, especially veterans community, you know, we have to bring them back, but Matt's like the only guy I know that has literally gone to. Is it an excavation site?
No.
Or what's the term that you would?
So it's just a crash site or
a
site, because right now we work on.
So just if you can, how much time do we have?
We got 15 minutes.
15 minutes. So tell the story. This is cool beans.
So it started off where I went and did a tour with the UW MIA Recovery and Identification Project at Madison, and they told me they needed volunteers to help go look for the site and possibly dig and find either parts of the plane that will identify the crash site or possible remains. So I got put on it. Actually, the crazy thing is I got the call on Friday, Memorial Day weekend. So not only did it hit me hard that we were literally remembering the fallen, but I got a call to go get the fallen. Then the next month, we're leaving on Memorial Day weekend. So it was like a 1-2 punch for me, like how much it meant to me and how much I was meant to do this. So we went to Belgium for 3.5 weeks for about 25 days, and we knew where the crash site was.
I was sweating just looking at your picture. By the way.
We went to Belgium for about 25 days. We had an idea where the crash site was because they were there actually in 2019 based on a witness statement. So an 8-year-old child in 1944 watched the plane crash.
Wow.
That many years later, they were helping him find it. He actually passed away this January before we got back there. But so we dug a lot of, it's crazy because it's like archaeological.
How do they do the dig exactly? I mean, I've never...
It depends on the location. We actually, because we had some...
Do you scrape like an inch at a time? Or
no.
Is it just...
So we had actually had an excavator come in, and we dug out 4x4 meter squares, and we would sift through it because most of the wreckage in Belgium and France and Poland and stuff like that, they're pretty looted. So there's not a whole lot of, like, you're not going to walk up and just see a plane there. Not like the one that we saw, the one I saw that was a picture in Vietnam where they went, meters deep into the swamp. So this was right after about 18 to 25 inches. It was shale, so it was literally hard rock. So we know that the explosion didn't happen, but we had to sift through all the dirt to find parts of weapons. And at one point, we actually found the nose gun of the 50 cal nose gun, and it was pretty, it was broken off and pretty rusted, so we couldn't get no serial numbers off of it. But it was really cool because in a way that you cannot explain, it was more humbling than anything. It was therapy knowing that I might be bringing somebody home that nobody has seen since December 23rd, 1944. And the fact is that there's an extra layer in my mind to bringing someone home. So everybody automatically, which is obviously they come first, the family members of the veteran that didn't make it, they get them closure. But as someone who's lost someone overseas, in combat, we were able to bring that person home. The veterans and the veterans' families that came home that were not able to bring him, and we also closed that door for them too, because everybody hears survivor's guilt. I made it, why didn't they? Stuff. Imagine the survivor's guilt of you didn't even get to bring him home. So that extra layer of closure, not just for the family of the veteran that didn't make it home, but the brothers and sisters that served with that gentleman or woman, they get closure too, because I've heard stories where, like, especially from Vietnam vets, that I'm missing a friend. I haven't seen him since Vietnam. I haven't seen him in 30 years, looking out for him. Come to find out he's on the MIA wall. How much grief and survivor's guilt does that person have? So if we can bring them home, at least that's one more weight lifted off their chest.
Well,
it's pretty heavy.
Say again?
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, you're the only person I've ever met that's done that. But we all want our MIA POWs coming home, but to actually know somebody that's actually been engaged with that is pretty huge. But again, as a member of the DAV, that's an opportunity that you were able to have and so forth.
Oh.
So I do got to ask you some questions. Could you pop up, Scott, the pictures from National? It's kind of cool. The engineering studio is in the room next to us.
Yep.
So, hey, there we go. What was that about? Because this is kind of neat stuff.
So,
besides having to deal with Adam and all the
I know, it was really weird. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I thought I was, so I was put on a committee, elected to be put on our committee by our national executive committee. We voted for that. That happened and everything like that. We chose our delegates to be on certain committees. And I was chose to be on the General Resolutions and Membership Committee. And then when I was in the General Resolutions and Membership Committee, they voted for me to be the chairman of that committee. And the chairman has to give a report before the whole national body about what the committee recommends for the national body to vote on. So I had to read 25 resolutions of that we would like the body to adopt.
In front of 8,000 people?
I don't know exactly how many, but there's a lot of people in the crowd.
Yeah.
So this is actually a picture. I know there's one picture that you took of me personally, and then this is a picture of a friend of mine is like, oh my gosh, I know that guy. He took a picture. So, but it was very important because as moving up in the DAV and doing what we do, being able to be a part of changes, progress, and moving forward, it means a lot because there's a lot of organizations that are stuck in the past. Yeah. And DAV, the biggest thing I love about DAV is not only does it accept all members that, when they come in, but it actually promotes women veterans, younger veterans. All these younger veterans, we're not getting pushed aside. We're being promoted because they know that they're mentoring us to take over one day because we are the future. And it's really nice to know that our voice is being heard at many different levels and from many different eras and
I think what's kind of a neat angle to share too, though, is that just kind of how things work is that at our chapter meetings, we will take a look at resolutions, things that are important, and we push them up to the department, and then at that state convention, we discuss them. Now, some stay at a state level, and some are national, and then we push ours up to national. And once we do that, and once they're approved by the body, then we actually go to Washington, D.C. or Madison. And
well, the legislation that the resolutions that I spoke on were resolutions that if all the DAV can talk about, because if we let's use the POW MIA one. That was one of the resolutions we adopted. So we keep pushing for POW and MIAs to be returned and identified, and we also pushed to support the POW MIA accounting command. So in order for us to speak on that subject, our national body has to approve it.
So a little bit different thing then.
Yep, this one's a little bit different. Now the legislation, when you're talking about, that would be the resolution on legislative stuff. But same thing, which as you said, well, once again, we can't even, so if let's say, let's use the POWMI again. If national didn't pass, there's actually a legislation one that says the same thing, that, because before I think they said 2007, we didn't have funding for World War II vets. That's why we're so far behind on the percentage of DNA on file. We only have 16%. So in order for us to fight that in Madison, National has to pass that to fight in DC. So it's still the same concept, just different areas where we do our fighting.
I hate to interrupt you, but we got about 5 minutes left.
Oh, five minutes left. We're getting down there. Okay.
All right.
You're the adjutant.
I am.
Well, okay, now a commander kind of has the big vision, but what do you do as an adjutant? And you are the adjutant for this. Not well, you are for Chapter 3,
I am for Chapter 3.
But you are for the Department of Wisconsin, the whole shebang. So how many chapters is that?
We have 40, I believe.
40 chapters?
40 or 41. I know we have some mergers.
How many members? About 15,000?
About almost 15,000.
So you are the adjutant. A lot of work to do.
Oh, yes. Let's just say my phone never stops ringing and my emails never stop filling up. But I am here to serve at the pleasure of the commander. And
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Matthew. Happy birthday to you.
Did I miss something?
Hey, Matt turns 41 tomorrow, guys. We couldn't resist the moment. So, happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think we have. Do we have some plates?
We do.
Oh, and this was given out by the.
That was not going out.
by the commander of the state auxiliary, the delightful Julie Hurt, my wife.
I love her.
She's great. She's great. And so we couldn't resist bringing out the cake. So we do have. Can you show the slide again, Scott, with the name and address for Matt? Now, this is important. You know, we talk about DAV Chapter 17. We meet that fourth Tuesday of the month in the Marine Corps League. But if you're looking at a big picture, you have questions about DAV, veterans, that's how you contact Matt.
That is how you get a hold of me.
And some of the things we deal with is Veterans Claims Assistance, Transportation Network, what else?
We have veteran aid, veterans aid, claims assistance, transportation, you put me on
You're
the
doing
spot.
well. You're talking about scholarship.
Yeah, our chapter does scholarships. Now other chapters can do that too. We the big thing is we just started our foundation.
Yeah.
It's a 501c3. It's about 4 or 5 years old, and we're trying to get it to be statewide and help a lot of veterans in the state. So chapters are very limited in their area, but the foundation can help statewide. So that's the other thing. So if you have any questions about a 501c3 version of us, that's it. And
so this show, it needs to be shared, is going to be pushed out statewide. So if you're in Rhinelander, Marshfield, Milwaukee, wherever it may be, and you have a question about DAV, that's a good way right there to contact Matt, and he'll help you out.
We said legislative, right? That's huge. That's our biggest thing, legislative.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah. So we are quite engaged. So
yeah.
Anything else for the good of all, Adam, that you can think about?
No, I think we're just about covered it, and we are just about out of time. So thank you very much for joining us, Matt.
I'm just being happy sitting next to you.
Adam, is there anything else for the good of all?
No, I think we've just about covered it, and we're just about out of time. So thank you so much for joining us on another edition of The Outpost.